I'm Tony. My major is animation and visual effects. At university, I will study the post-production of film and television. But sometimes I was confused what I would work on in the future. But in 2010, after I watch a movie, I make the choice. So uh, today I'm gonna to talk about this movie after. Yeah, let's watch a trailer first. Oh.
Yes, looks like you. This is your avatar.
Just relax and let your mind go blank. It shouldn't be hard for you.
Jake, it's real simple. I want you to learn from the inside. I want you to gain their trust.
You should not be here. Go back. All this is your fault.
I need your help.
Today I will explain the why after was successful and outside the box, and after that I will talk about something in my final project. And okay, first of all, I'd like to ask you questions. What is visual effects? Do you think in your mind? What is visual effects? No response?
Just give them time, make them talk to you. That's their job.
What is?
Particle.
Yeah, particle. And some part of what do you think in the?
And make simple thing much more attractive.
Yeah.
to
Anything else?
to add animation more vivid.
Okay. I can. There's some selection I prepared. The first is models, and there are some miniature sets, animatronics, stop motion animation. And the first picture is the Lord of the Rings, and the second is I don't know what's the part.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and matte painting is in charge of matte painting or is in charge of some background of the movie. And the live action effects and some green screen, blue screen. That's the Matrix, the famous show. And the digital animation, rigging, particle, animating, lighting, texture, modeling. And the last one is compositing in some program. Yeah. Visual effects actually is a kind of illusion and like magic to cheat people's eyes, and it provides low cost way to in the filmmaking, and it required in the visual effects artists and technicians are required to work together and help each other and understand each other. And visual effects is a combination of arts and technicals. And but visual effects is different from what people thinking about. This semester I have a class to talk about this, and visual effects is survives work in filmmaking and low profit. Just last month, one of the most famous visual effects company was bankrupt. bankrupt. And most of visual effects companies don't have a union for the artists, and most of artists just have a contracted job. Oops, it's my future. So they also have I will introduce some job titles in the visual effects modeler, and matte painter, compositor, digital animator, and live action effects. Guess.
Supervisor.
That's the visual effects supervisor's work. And okay, let's go back to the after. And I believe all of you should watch this movie before. And what do you think about this movie? Awesome or awful?
Awesome.
Of course, awesome. And why I think after is thinking outside of the box is that it was not only the best special effects movie, but also remind people something really simple but really important. We will talk about it later. And okay, and it's that's after. And there is something interesting because in after the story always tell about two things. Two things is has common characteristics as well as different characteristics. It's talk about something almost same, but inside totally different. For example, it's talk about two different worlds. One is the human. One is the Earth. In the film, the background is the Earth is full with the machines, and the other one is the Pandora, around by forest and oceans. And there are two different cultures. One is human beings, another one is the Navi. And and there's a lot of like this, Alexandra, yeah. And these things make the film feel with complex and also makes the film outside the box. And something have to be mentioned is in this movie, human, we are the aliens. If my memory serves me right, it's so unusual. And there are something this same, but no, there's something same in the same with the story. The background, the filmmaking team is also have two. One is in charge of the human's world, and another one in charge of the Navis, the Pandora world, because it's totally different way to make film. And I just said this before. The visual effects is a combination of art and technicals. In my writing assignment 3, and I wrote about something about the technicals, 3 important technicals, the details of the design and the 3D fusion camera system made in 3D. And we talk about the 3D first. You should watch the 3D movie before, right? And you know what's the feeling. And it's just the 3D made you can feel the thickness of the object. And the 3D fusion camera system is just achieved advanced motion capture system. They have those 3 motion capture system inside. One is the motion capture of the article's performance, and one is for the facial capture, and another one is the camera motion capture. And the director James Cameron just need to carry a camera. It's called camera, but just a screen. Walk around in the stage, and he can saw all of the object in the scenes, and he can't see the actors in the screen, but their characters. Okay, I want to talk about the details of design most the Navi. One more questions. What do you think they did when they created the Navi, the character? What do you think about this?
What?
What do you think when they make what they make for the Navi, the character?
Creating?
What they create? For example, appearance and
The
personality
yeah.
and supernatural skill.
They don't have super.
no.
What?
The skin, the color of
Yeah, the appearance, I think. And the most important, I think, is the language. They create whole grammar words in Navis. And by the way, if you want to learn Navis, you can go to this website. And they also create the fashion, weapon, music, dance for the Navis, and the action, how they act, and the tattoo, their belief, the mother and something, and etc. etc. Okay, all these things I called it civilizations. So it's hard to imagine how they can create not just a character, they create whole civilizations for a movie. So I think it's never people did it before. So I think they are outside the box. And that's the visual effects part. But something I said it before is this movie also remind people to think about something simple. It's really simple, I think, and it's Navi's nature is there, whereas ours. All the movies talk about how to protect how peoples destroy the forest and how the native protect their forests. So the environmental protection, I think is he wants to talk about. And so I get this formula, a cutting edge artwork plus simple and clear meaning equals to the outside the box, I think it is, in the visual effects. So that is, I want to talk, this is my title of my graduating project, and that's I want to say I have to go to the school again to learn more about the visual effects, because it's hard to doing some outside the box in visual effects without some high technical. And this is what I learned from the James Cameron, because he always doing something new. They will ask the reason why they should do that, why they should design these things, and she should be new because visual effects have follow some rules in the nature in the real world. So if not, it will be it's not a fake. It can be find out. So this is my story box in on my final project, another class. Airplane launched a missile to destroy the two of the ground-to-air missile launcher and escaped. That's the whole story. And what I want to talk about is the explosion of the missile launcher. I did the explosion. I did the explosion first, but it's weird. It's not look like the. After the explosion should be like this, and so I watched the. I asked myself why should it be like this. So I watched do some research on the explosion. I got this video on the internet. It's the real. So I changed some settings with my explosion in the program. That's the result. It's the front of the missile launcher because when the missile launched from the airplane, when it hits the launcher, the missile launcher, it will be explode along the negative direction first, and then the whole launcher will be fire and explode, burn like this. So I did two of the explosion. I think it's more real. So in conclusion, maybe in other fields I want to say is a good idea. It can be called outside the box. I don't know. But in the visual effects, we have to follow the rules in real world, and then we can make the projects better than usual. Make it better and better. After is amazing and awesome artworks. Because James Cameron leads his team overcoming lots of problems and difficulties. They did what people never did it before, so it can be called outside the box. And he spent more than 10 years on this project, and they spent a lot of money, maybe $700 million, and